I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another match reaction stream and fan call-in show. You guys can have the opportunity to have your say on the game, on the transfer window, and just how you feel things are going at Chelsea right now. So I will pin the link at the top of the chat. Once I've had my say, so in about maybe 10-15 minutes time, I'll pin the link at the top and you guys can call in and have your say if you wish to do so. Obviously, big up to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you're new around here. Yeah, disappointing result today. Of course, really disappointing result today. Very much, you know, classic football cliche, but it really was a game of two halves. First half, I thought we played some really good stuff. The goal was brilliant. Really nice team move involving, you know, Colwell, Enzo, Madueke, Palmer, Jackson. You know, really nice team goal. And the only negative from the first half was the fact that we didn't score more goals. And then obviously, we came out in the second half and, yeah, things kind of just fell apart. Things didn't go to plan. Didn't go to plan at all. Yeah, okay, Will Hughes should have been sent off for a second yellow for that free kick. You get those sometimes, you know, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. But we didn't really do enough in that second half. And again, poor defending for the goal. You know, not able to clear our lines properly after a set piece, and giving Eze far too much time on the edge of the box to just curl one in. It was a brilliant finish, and ultimately, yes, we had our chances. Jackson with a couple of opportunities, you know, particularly that one-on-one. Maybe he should have done better with that. But we just didn't have it in us today, and Palace did a job on us. They made it really hard for us to break them down. And once again, it was kind of the problems with the low block. It wasn't an awful performance by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not going to, lose my mind over a draw at home to Palace in the third Premier League game of the season. But, you know, we do need to do a little bit better. We still need to do better, but I'm not surprised by any of this. I'm not surprised by any of this. I honestly didn't expect miracles by match week 3. I really didn't. Yes, you know, we should be beating Crystal Palace at home. Of course we should. But, you know, I don't think it was awful today. You know, first half was good. Second half, obviously, we dropped off and it wasn't great. But come on. I mean, some of the reactions I'm seeing, you know, the third game of the season in, it's just a little bit, it's a little bit over the top in my view. Yes, we all want to do better. Yes, we should have signed a striker. Yes, we all know this. But it's certainly not doom and gloom after 3 games. And look, we've got 4 points on the board from 9. Yes, of course, we would have liked more. But let's look at it. City, you know, no one expected us to get anything. Maybe the best we get a point. Yeah, okay, the win at Wolves, I probably would have taken a draw there and would have taken a win at Palace. So, you know, I'm not worried. I'm not worried right now. But there are still obviously concerning things that are going on right now at the club. There are still concerning things that are happening. You know, the reality is there's a very talented group of players here. The reality is that, you know, you're not going to have this change overnight. It's totally unrealistic to expect things to change overnight. People can have their opinions on it, and it's absolutely fine. But for me, I'm not ignoring the fact there's a lot of work to do. I'm not ignoring the fact that it was difficult. We should have won that game. Yeah, of course. No one's denying that we should have won that game. You know, but you're not going to win every game this season. You're not going to win every game this season. And this is a textbook game that, you know, we've seen Chelsea play numerous times over the past 2-3 seasons, where we go a goal up, we don't see a team off, and then we come out in the second half and we don't really perform. We've seen that kind of performance multiple times over the years. It's not a Maresca thing. Defensively, I thought we were all right defensively today. You know, yeah, obviously we failed to clear our lines for the goal, and that's poor. But other than that, Palace were limited to very, very little. It's just the fact that we really struggled to break the low block down. I was a little bit unsure on what the tactics were. But comparing Chelsea to Man City is just a ridiculous thing to do. They're what, 7-8 years into a manager, and they're one of the best teams in the world. So of course they win pretty much every time. That's a nonsense comparison. Nonsense comparison. It really is. Like, you can't compare someone who's 3 games into a team that's 8 years into whatever they're doing, or 9 years in, and they're one of the best teams in the world. That's just a ridiculous comparison. We are where we are right now. We all want to be doing better, but we've got to get behind the team. We've got to get behind the team. We've got to support the team. Yes, I'll criticize things where they're due. And today, the second half wasn't good enough today. It wasn't. There's no denying that. There's no getting away from that. The second half wasn't good enough. The only issue, yeah, we're not the club we were. We're not the club we were right now. Like I don't understand. I don't understand why people are like so shocked by these comments. Everyone knows we're not the club we used to be, and we're trying to get back to that. That is hardly like a ridiculous thing to say. It's hardly some sort of groundbreaking revelation that Chelsea aren't the club that they used to be. We're not right now, but we're trying to get back there. We can't just say, right, the billion thing is irritating, because not all of that money's been spent on the first team. A large amount of that has also been spent on guys that probably aren't even going to play for the football club. So this billion thing is nonsense. We have a squad capable of competing with City. The problem is, no, how can you? We don't have a squad capable of competing with Man City. Not right now. We don't. We're miles away from that. We are a long way away from that right now. We should be beating Palace. We should be beating Palace though. Like there's no denying that these sorts of games at home are the sort of games that we should be winning. These are the sort of games we should be winning. If you want to get better this season, we have to beat teams at home. Palace have lost both their opening games. Yeah, look, we had chances and we didn't take the chances. It's not like we sat back and we did a Southgate and invited pressure onto ourselves. We had a go. We created opportunities. We didn't take them. And as the facts are, yeah, exactly. We missed far too many chances still. And I said this after the Wolves game. We're not gonna have the attack to bail us out every week. We're not gonna score 6 goals every week. We're not gonna score 2 or 3 every week. So just as much as we need to brush up on taking our chances, we also need to learn how to win games by a goal to nil. We got to start learning how to keep clean sheets again. We really have to. Yes, big up, brother. My only issue is this: it was last season all over again. Yeah, look, it felt like a very last season game. Absolutely, I agree on that. It felt like a very last season game. No doubt about it. But I'm not going to lose my mind. If we're still doing the same thing 10, 15 games into the season, then yeah, sure, absolutely. There is a conversation to be had here. 100%. There's a conversation to be had if we're still having this conversation, 10, 15 games in. What else is coming in, guys? There's so much coming in. The billion spent is the fact that this club will always have hangover. It said when we drop results like this, it's always going to come up. Look, people can raise it, but I don't really get what the point of raising it is. I really don't. It's not like £1 billion has been spent on players that are all playing in the first team. It simply isn't. But it is also a striker issue as well, because if you have a clinical marksman, they score that one-on-one. That's the reality right now. I love Nicholas Jackson. Brilliant. I think he's a brilliant player. But the reality is that he's still very raw. His finishing's not great. And it's too much pressure on him to be leading the line for Chelsea Football Club. It's too much pressure on his shoulders right now. We haven't got anyone else to do it. So it is a big missed opportunity there. I don't think the midfield was awful today. Obviously, second half, we had Enzo Fernandez basically playing at centre-back. We had, I don't know what else we had going on. Palmer basically playing as a pivot. I'm not really sure what the second half tactics were. Lavia is a massive, massive miss. It's easy to say now that we shouldn't have let both Ugochukwu and Santos go on loan, but we shouldn't have done, really. It's easy to look back now, but one of them probably should have stayed, given Lavia's kind of injury records. Yeah, I am as well. I'm not annoyed we didn't get Osimhen. I'm annoyed that we didn't get a striker. I'm annoyed that we wasted so much time on it. That's the problem. That's what I'm annoyed about. But yeah, guys, keep smashing that like button. It's 106 in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you smash the like button, people. Only on 30 likes. That's poor. Come on, guys. Let's run it up, run it up, run it up. We do. We still find that difficult. And that's not a new thing. That's not a Maresca thing. That was a Pochettino thing. It was a Thomas Tuchel thing as well. Like, this is not a new thing that we've struggled to break low blocks down. This is not new. Considering we're demanding high expectation, it's positive. I think we will get there eventually. We didn't lose, no. Look, Chilwell definitely doesn't fit the system. He definitely doesn't. Look, I like Ben Chilwell, but come on. Like, he's absolutely not. He doesn't fit the system. Yeah, but Liverpool, just look how, but it's completely different. It's completely different. You can't compare Slot coming into Liverpool. The squad's exactly the same. The squad was a very, very good squad. They appointed Slot because he plays a similar brand of football to Klopp, and he's come in and he's doing very well. But that's a team that's ready to go. That's a plug in and play team. That is a plug in and play team. That's very, very different. You know, the situations at Chelsea and Liverpool are massively different. I'm not really sure what people are getting at there. You know, it's a nonsense comparison to be comparing Liverpool and the Chelsea situations. It really is. Why are we doing this? Really, we're never going to be in the top two of the Premier League again. The guys, we've drawn one game against Crystal Palace. Yeah, it was disappointing, but we're going way over the top here. No, the Sassi's going to go. He doesn't fit the system. He doesn't fit what we're looking to do here. There's a reason why he's only playing on a Thursday night. All of our XG today came off trans. Yeah, it is true. You know, obviously under Maresca, we're looking to have more control of games, and still we're very much looking like we're a counter-attacking side who plays on the transitions. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. We're a mixed match of players in wrong positions. Just want Chelsea to get back where we belong. Yeah, look, I think that will come this season. Well, it shouldn't do. It's a ridiculous sense of entitlement. Like, what are people expecting? Like, really, what are they expecting? We all want to win. We all want to do better, you know. But how is it helping that people are calling for a manager's head after 3 games? You know, this is the style of football that the club wants to play. This is why Maresca was appointed, and we need to get behind it. Moaning about it after 3 games is not it. By all means, there's things that need to be worked on, sure, but that's not exactly a surprise. And if we don't beat Bournemouth, yeah, it's going to be disappointing and it'll be frustrating. But there shouldn't be hell starting because we've not won a game of football. The results into the financial irregularities involving Chelsea will be released soon. Yeah, we could easily face a 2-year transfer ban, absolutely, because of what happened under the previous regime. You know, that would be solely Roman's fault. Of course it would, because it happened under his regime. It was his dodgy payments and whatnot. And yeah, we just have to live with the consequences when they come. Well, there's still 35 games remaining, but we're not going to get Champions League football because we drew 1 game in September. Come on, what guys? What are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing? Our players' egos are a joke. Jackson didn't see it. Didn't pass to Felix, and then 5 minutes later, he didn't pass to Felix. I mean, I don't remember seeing that. I'm absolutely not. But what I'm saying is that it's ridiculous to be writing a manager off after three games. It really is, and I've criticised the ownership multiple times. But yeah, 3 games into the season is not right to be hammering the manager. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. But it's always going to be the case. It's always going to be the case. And there's nothing that we can do about it. Nothing we can do about it. Oh, that's not true, though. There was one change today from the game against Wolves. Obviously, there was going to be multiple changes from the game against Servette in midweek. Of course, there was. We basically played a different side, but there was one change from the game against Wolves, and that was Neto in for Mudryk, which is what people would have all said was a good idea. So I had no issues with the team lineup that was picked whatsoever. You know, not. They're not. They're honestly, they're really not that much better, if at all. I don't think Newcastle are better than us. I really don't. I called for his head off before we announced him. He lasted 14 games. Bro, you haven't even given him a chance. Like, it's just nonsense. You haven't even given him a chance. Yes, people, keep running the likes up. Keep running those likes up. Lines will open at 50 likes, guys. So come on. Let's get it moving. Let's get it moving, people. 120 in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. But make sure you are running those likes up and subscribing to the channel if you're new around here as well. The club needs to change their wage structure. The owners are looking for maximum profit. No, Osimhen said no because he values money more than playing football. That's the reality of the situation. He's playing no football for 6 months, and he'd rather rot at Napoli playing no football than come to Chelsea. I do hope Enzo figures out how to beat low blocks. It's been a problem for many years, many years, as I said. Yeah, but you don't. This is what people don't understand, right? One, the billion wasn't all spent on first-team players. Two, it's 3 games in. How can people be losing their minds 3 games in? It's 3 games in, guys, under the new manager. Forget about last season. Forget about the Potter and the Lampard stuff. Anyone having a go at the manager is totally misguided. By all means, if you're going to criticize, aim it at the right people and aim it at the ownership or the sporting director, whoever you want to aim it at. But don't aim it at the manager. Don't aim the criticism at the manager, because this is not on him. This is not on him at all. This is not on him whatsoever. Guys, there's so much coming in the chat. Yeah, a couple of Conference League playoffs. We got through. Whatever. We got through. Who cares? We're through. We're in the thing. I'm really not that arsed about that. Yeah, the Thursday night performance was crap, but we're through, and that was the main thing. So, I don't really care about that as much. No, he didn't take this out. He didn't. He could have taken a Saudi Arabia offer, and he chose not to. And he could have taken that. He refused to take the Chelsea offer, and now he's rotting, not playing football. So, as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't care less about him. We should have pushed the boat out for Osimhen. I don't think we should have pushed the boat out for Osimhen. He's not as good as what people think he is. Yeah, exactly. This is my point, right? Look at how Man United are playing right now. 3 years. This is 3 years in under Eric Ten Hag, right? Look at how Man United are playing. We are 3 Premier League matches in under Enzo Maresca. Just thank yourselves that we're not Man United right now. If we were 3 years in, if we were 3 years in, then it would be a justifiable conversation to have for sure. 3 years in versus 3 games is totally different. So yeah, yes, it's annoying. Yes, it's frustrating. I understand all that. Of course we're better than United. It's not hard to be better than Man United. It really isn't that difficult. Not with the same manager, we're not. This is my point. We're not with the same manager. Not with the same manager, we're not, though. That's my point. They're 3 years in with Eric Ten Hag. Yes, we might be 3 years into the project or whatever, but we're not 3 years in with the same manager. We're 3 years in and we haven't really got started yet. That's the reality. That's my point. I'm not saying we're not 3 years into this ownership or whatever, but we're 3 years into we're 3 years into this ownership. Yeah, sure. No, the goalposts aren't being moved. The Champions League is the expectation this season, as is winning the Conference League. But we're 3 games into a new manager. If we were 3 years in and it was the same manager and we were still seeing this, then yeah, it's a completely different conversation. No, I'm not saying we absolutely agree. And this is why Maresca, whatever happens, even if we end up finishing 15th, we should we should be sticking with him. We absolutely should be sticking with him. And Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. That's a fair point, more than a fair point, and I absolutely agree on that. Yeah, sure. Best players want best wages. I get that. Of course they do. Of course they do. But ultimately, I don't think Osimhen was the right guy to break it for. If we were going to, people talk about like he's some sort of generational striker. Like they talk about him like he's prime R9. It's mad. It's honestly mad. Yes, he's a good player, but if he didn't want to come on our terms, the likes of Sancho, Felix, etc., were prepared to make significant financial sacrifices, then as far as I'm concerned, fuck him. I don't care that Osimhen's not come, but we should have switched our attentions to someone else. We should have switched our attention to someone else. We really should have done. Yeah, look, I don't know if he's been stitched up, but yeah, sure, he's been dealt a difficult hand, and none of this should be none of this should be directed towards him. None of this should be directed towards him at all, guys. It absolutely shouldn't be directed towards him in any sort of way, whatsoever. Yeah, the atmosphere's been a problem at Stamford Bridge for a while. Yeah, it absolutely has. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Back at square one when they sacked Poch and if they sack Maresca now, it's going to be the exact same situation. Yeah, the manager, Chelsea aren't going to go anywhere unless they stick with a manager. It's as simple as that. And so we have to stick with Maresca and ride it out. And there'll be many more games like today. There'll be many more defeats. There'll be many more wins as well. These are the things that we need to do, that we need to work on. These are the things that we've got to work on, guys. But this is where we are. This is where we are right now. Chelsea willing to pay 40 million for Duran. He didn't want to reduce his wages. Tony, the only offer that Ivan Toney had, the only genuine offer on the table for Tony was Saudi. There was no other offers for him. If he chose Saudi over Chelsea, then yeah, okay, there's a different conversation to be had. But the only option he had was Saudi, and he took it. So do you know what? Fair enough. It should be directed at the ownership, the sporting directors, the people, the higher ups. That's where it should be. That's where it should be targeted. Jackson's type of struggle over Chelsea 10 times better than Osimhen in terms of look. Jackson's better than Osimhen at everything other than finishing. That's the reality here. That is the reality here. Why is everyone falling for the Maresca ruthless about Sterling? Club told him, yeah, they did. Why did the brother even take the job under these clowns? He's clearly good, and look, you're not going to say no to the Chelsea job. You're just not going to say no to it. Thoughts on Neto today? Average. Not the best from him today. Not the best from him. Guys, keep smashing that like button, by the way. Yeah, obviously, and heading. Yeah, finishing and heading. That's fine. But those two, everything else, Jackson is better at. Guys, keep smashing that like button. We're not quite at 50 yet. There's still 117 in the building. Let's run it up. Let's run it up. Let's run it up, people. Keep doing it. We're not going anywhere under these clowns, full stop. Well, let's wait and see. I mean, I hope we do go somewhere, but yeah, it's been tricky right now. It's been tricky. No, I don't want Chelsea to be a failure, but I mean, I'm not quite sure where you're getting that from. I'm really not sure where that's coming from. I've never once said that. Yeah, we as I said many times, we should have had a plan B. We should have had a plan B. That's the reality. But that wasn't on Maresca. That wasn't on Maresca. That decision was taken above him. It's very, very clear that was taken. That decision was taken above him. Yeah, a muscular injury. I don't know what it is. Luckily, there's an international break, couple of weeks to potentially recover. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, a couple of weeks to potentially recover, which we're definitely gonna need. Definitely gonna need. I still have no idea why we didn't buy Jonathan David. Obviously, they didn't see much in him. He's not better finishing, not better air drills, not better in the IQ, a lot more. No, I didn't say that he was better than him at finishing. But he's a much better all-round footballer than Osimhen is. But we look, whether it was Osimhen or whether it was someone else, we needed to bring a player in. We needed to bring a player in, and we didn't do that. And that's on the club. You know, it's been made very clear that Maresca wanted a striker, and we didn't get one. So yeah, it's really frustrating for sure. Really frustrating. Yes, big up. I'm disappointed that we drew against Palace. If Chelsea don't get top four, then it's time to blame the owners. Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, whatever the contract is, I'm not that arsed. You know, they reward players for good form. He had a good first season, and he signed a contract extension. I think Jackson's going to be very good for Chelsea, but we need someone else that's better than him. You know, he needs to learn from someone. I've got an issue of Jackson getting a new contract. I'm not really that bothered about it. We need a striker who can take on defenders in the box, keeping them worried. This is the way we break the low block. Yep, I agree. Mudryk today was on money, which we bought him. Mudryk was all right today. You know, there wasn't an awful lot for him to do, but you know, he did okay. And the fact that Maresca went with him over in Kunku was an interesting one. It was an interesting one. No, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have signed. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have signed a striker. What I'm saying is that Osimhen's obviously a far better finisher than Nicholas Jackson. He's a lethal penalty box striker. All I'm saying is that all other aspects of the game, Jackson is better at. And look, he is improving. He's still missing chances, but he's improving. We just should have bought someone else in. That's the problem. He's not ready to be Chelsea's number one striker yet. That's the reality of the situation. You know, that is the reality of the situation. I agree. I agree. You know, I'm as disappointed and as frustrated with anyone by today's result. But we got to have a bit of realism here. We've got to have a little bit of realism and you know, and realize that this is going to take time, unfortunately. And us, you know, getting you know, fucked off about the third game is it's not great. It's not great. Really not great. But this is where we're at. People obviously have different opinions on things, but I just think, you know, losing their minds after 3 games in the league is just a bit crazy for me. Yeah, good performance from Caicedo today. I agree. Well, then that's a different conversation, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. You know, if it's still the same, you know, if it's still the same, then we'll still say it. It's a different manager. It's a different manager. It's a different manager. Like I'm not bothered about last season. Last season's been and gone. This is a different manager now. Let's get to 10, 15 games and see how we're doing then. Yeah, I agree on that. Should have been a second yellow. That would have changed the game. But ultimately, though, we still should have done enough to win. We still did enough to win that game, and we didn't take the chances. Yeah, it's disappointing. It is disappointing. Yeah, for sure. I agree on that. Yeah, there are some positives to take for sure. But I mean, look, people only look at results at the end of the day. People only look at results at the end of the day. So yeah. You know, structurally, I thought we looked a bit better today. Defensively, we looked better in terms of how we defended. It's just obviously for the goal, we didn't defend very well. But on the whole, we defended reasonably well. Yeah, look, if there's an opportunity to sign a striker in January and we can do it, and it's the right profile, and it's the right sort of player that's gonna fit what we're looking to do, then yeah, we should absolutely be taking that opportunity, and we should absolutely be going for it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But the owners aren't using me. Like, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I've criticised them for many things they've done. I've praised them for some of the good things they've done, and now we just have to wait and see what happens this season. But they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. So yeah, we can criticise them, and I will do where where it's due, and I have done and will continue to do so. But this is where we are. This is where we are right now. Guarantee, even when Maresca does go, it'll be McKenna or something. Yeah, oh man, I'm not even thinking about that right now. Yeah, look, I'm not a big fan of the international break either. But yeah, guys, keep smashing that like button. Yeah, Cole and Fofana were decent today. They actually were good today. They were good today. Guys, keep smashing that like button. Keep running it up, people. It's free. Takes seconds to do. Let's oh, what's this here? Let me just quickly have a little bit of look at a big news, and then I will get into the fan calls, and anyone can come on if they wish to do so and have their say on proceedings. What's been going on here? There's some sort of news. Where is it? Let's have a quick look. Interesting. Someone approached Chelsea turns down approach from a big club earlier in the summer for Levi Colwill. I wonder that I suspect that was probably Liverpool. I reckon that was Liverpool. Mate, managers never pick transfers. No manager's got full control over transfers. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. No manager's got top. No manager has full say on any transfers whatsoever. And it's not being undermined. You know, it's very normal and happens at pretty much every football club that the sporting directors will choose players and they'll run them by the manager, and you know, and then he'll kind of have a final sign off. It's not like managers don't pick players, and nor should they, by the way, nor should they. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm going to pin the link to the top of the chat. So yeah, if anyone wants to phone in and have their say on things, I'm going to keep it brief though, guys. You're going to have 5 minutes because otherwise we'll be here all night doing it. And yeah, we don't want that to be the evidence of the 10 years thing is that was the stipulation in the contract that you can't sell. That was the anti-Glazer clause in there. You can't sell the club you've got within 10 years. That was the clause. That was the clause. I'm going to unpin that, and we're going to pin a new message to the chat, and people can phone in and have their say. But guys, we're going to be limited to 5 minutes because otherwise it's going to otherwise it's going to take ages. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to put the link in now. If people want to phone in and have their I don't mean to do that. If people want to phone in and have their say, then please do so. Okay, it's now pinned, guys. It's now pinned to the top of the chat. So if you want to come in, you're going to have 5 minutes. You can have your say on the game or on Chelsea or whatever it might be. I still think we need a striker in January. Chelsea don't sign experienced veteran players in the team. Then no top four for Chelsea, and it's time for us to blame the owners. Let's wait and see. No, we're still going to need a striker regardless, guys. We are still going to need a striker regardless. That's the reality. That's the reality of the situation. That's the reality of the situation. We've got our first caller in. Assad, how you doing, brother? You good?
Yeah, what are you saying, John? You good, yeah?
Yeah, all good, bro. What's happening?
It's so frustrating, man. That draw today, man.
Yeah, I hear you. What did you think of it?
The first half was all right. It was controlled.
Yeah.
It was a bit boring because we just passed inside, but I understood what we're trying to do because Palace were sitting back deep, so we had to try plug holes.
Yeah.
Oh, so we get to the second half now. The first goal was good, by the way. I like that goal. The movement, cool. Second half starts. everything. And I'm thinking to myself, so a corner came in, we almost scored, made it 2-0. Okay, cool. Then Palace equalised. When Palace equalised, everything collapsed.
Yep.
What left? It's just, I couldn't believe it, man. And I feel like Enzo Maresca, yeah, who's just sticking stuff on the wall and hoping it sticks. Like, just bringing, Mudri, you come on, and Nkunku, you come on, Felix, you come. Like, just no plan. It's just very erratic and messy, man. And Palace could have won in the end. I think Palace deserved their point in the end.
No, they definitely deserve their point. Mate, I absolutely hear you on the second half tactics. I was a little bit unsure of what was going on. Obviously, he brought Felix on and he stuck him on the wing. That experiment lasted about 10 minutes, and then he brought Mudryk on, put him inside. Enzo Fernandez was basically playing as a centre-back. He obviously shifted Caicedo to right-back. Didn't have much of an issue with that. And then obviously we had Cole Palmer essentially playing as like a quarterback. He was basically playing as like a single pivot in midfield.
And Nkunku right wing.
Yeah, and then Nkunku right wing. But this is the potential issue here with the squad planning, possibly, is that because we're essentially playing a 4-1-4-1 or a 4-3-3 or whatever it is, like the thing is that Palmer, Felix, Nkunku, and all those guys, their best position is basically off the striker, sort of playing as a 10. And yeah, they can play wide, but they definitely don't have as much impact there. And obviously on Nkunku as well, it seems Maresca doesn't fancy him that much at this point in the season. Obviously, it's early days still, and he's going to be a quality player for us. I'm pretty sure of that. But it's interesting how he's obviously he started against City, but then he's not started a Premier League game since then. He was on the bench against Wolves. He was on the bench again today, got 5 minutes. Obviously, he started the two games against Servette in a Conference League. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on Nkunku? Obviously, maybe he's managing his minutes still, long-term injury last season and all that sort of thing. But it's not been the best of starts. He hasn't really done anything this season in the Premier League.
Nkunku, I think Nkunku will come into the team later on, like around November, December, innit? Right now, I think because of Joyce, I think if Madueke never got that hat trick, I think Nkunku will be in the team. You know that?
Yeah, probably.
That's what I think it is. I think because Madueke got that hat trick, it's like, oh, I can't drop him right now. So yeah, that's what it is, really.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. And like, just lastly, brother, what were your thoughts on the transfer window in general? Like, I mean, obviously frustrating we didn't get a striker, but obviously Felix and Neto have come in. Jadon Sancho came on deadline day. I mean, what are your thoughts on the window now that it's closed and the business that we did?
To give it a rating out of 10, I'll give it a 6.
Yeah.
I think that window was absolutely erratic, chaotic, and it just sums up what these owners have been like since they come. No plan, don't know what they're doing. Brought Sancho and Felix for what? To play where?
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I absolutely agree. It very much felt like sort of we only needed one of them. Like Neto, fine, but like if you were going to go for, it should have been Felix or Sancho for me. We didn't need both of them. Mate, I look, for what it's worth, I like Jadon Sancho. I think he's a good footballer. I'm a big fan of his, but obviously at Man United for 3 years, he's not been good. If we can try and find that Borussia Dortmund Sancho, then we're gonna be cooking. But even if you look at the bench today, right, there was Felix, Mudryk, and Nkunku all on the bench. You then put Sancho on the bench as well, or whoever it might be. That's 4 options on the bench. There's a lot of attacking options, which is a good thing, but it's also a situation where where do all these guys fit in? I think there will be enough games to go around, sure, because I think on a Thursday night in a Conference League, we'll pretty much play a completely different 11 to what we normally play. But yeah, it's going to be tough to fit them all in.
I got a question for you. Yeah, that now that Gusto's injured, do you think the Sassi plays right back now?
Well, it depends how long he's injured for. If he's back after the international break, then no. But if if Reece is fit, he'll play, because Reece is now back from his. That was the last game of his ban. Yeah. So yeah, that was the last game of his ban today. So hopefully, he's fit to go after the international break. If he's not and Gusto's still out, then it's an interesting thing to see. Will he go Caicedo there, or will he go Disasi? I'm not sure, to be honest.
I'm very upset. I'm not gonna lie to you. You see our defense. That's my issue with the window. It's like our defense is clearly a problem. It was a problem last year. It's a problem. And in pre-season, I don't get it. You saw pre-season and you never bought a defender. Yeah,
well, we should have done. When you're losing someone like Thiago Silva, and that leadership and that quality and whatnot, and you sort of replace him with Tosin, well, look, it's not a replacement, in terms of it's not like for like replacement, but that's placing the squad has been replaced with a free transfer from Fulham. Obviously, like a solid, dependable Premier League player, but it's not exactly replacing what we lost. So I think we maybe did miss a trick there in terms of going and bringing in sort of a top class proven centre back. I think we definitely missed a trick there, but
I want Chalobah in. I want him, bro. That's my guy. I need Chalobah to play.
Yeah, well, he's obviously gone on loan to Palace now. He'll play regularly there. Hopefully, he does well. Maybe he can play his way back into Chelsea for next season potentially. But yeah, we do need someone different for sure. But yeah, I'm going to move on to the next person. Bro, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Love for the support as always, bro. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. Let's move on. Sean, what we saying?
Hey, Charlie, what's up, man?
How you doing? You good?
I'm good.
What are your thoughts on today and sort of just the feeling around the club in general? Because I'm seeing quite a lot of bold takes at the moment, sort of a few crazy things going on. Yeah, we're frustrated. Yeah, it's disappointing, but I'm seeing some pretty over the top reactions, in my opinion.
No, look, I'm not gonna be reactionary. I'm not someone that is reactionary. I was happy with Wolves' result, and I'll take that. I will take it. Then against Servette, of course, there is context there with that result. I wasn't too happy with it. Losing to Servette, like I've never heard of them until we drew them in the Conference League. And yeah, today first half was okay. I was happy with that. Feel like Nani could have done a bit better with some of the chances when entering the box. I think he's full of confidence now, so I don't blame him for going for goal, but the chances, man. Jackson was in, Palmer's in the box. He could have squared it. That's a tap in. That's 1-0. We could have killed them off early, but we had to fight for our goal. We made it hard for ourselves. But I feel like everyone's a bit too reactionary right now. I feel like it wasn't the worst. How do you feel about today?
No, look, it wasn't the worst. It's disappointing. Obviously, every time you don't win a game of football, particularly at home, it's very disappointing. But I agree. This wasn't anywhere near as bad as what I've seen a lot of people making out. Yes, I thought the first half was really good, positive performance. The goal was great. The only negative from the first half was that we didn't score more goals. Second half, for whatever reason, Palace came into it a bit more. And yeah, we failed to clear our lines from a set piece, and then we didn't close Eze down on the edge of the box. But after that, you got to give Palace a little bit of credit. In fairness, they made it difficult for us. They did a job on us. They made it really hard for us to break them down, and we couldn't do that. Yes, Jackson had a couple of chances. That one into the side netting was a good effort. The one-on-one maybe he could have done a little bit better with. But if we're being honest, we didn't really create any further chances in that second half. Yes, the Palmer free kick maybe right at the beginning of the second half was close, but I don't think we can have any complaints from today. We created enough chances to win. We didn't take them, and Palace could have easily won the game as well.
But Charlie, I'll say this: we did have our chances, and they did come back into it. However, I feel like we did lose control of the game, and I'll put this on Maresca. I don't know what the shape was. I feel like for most of the first half, funny enough, I saw Caicedo playing centre-back for most of it. I see Fofana is running up and down the wing, and I'm like, what's going on? What is this? And I see second half, Enzo is in centre-back for most of it. Palmer is dropping deep.
Yep.
And it just didn't make sense. So I blame him for that. And that shape just didn't work. It didn't work. Yeah. Everyone was so far away from each other. The distance between midfield and attack was a problem. I didn't like that. It put me off. I think that's what allowed Palace to come back into it.
No, I agree, mate. I agree. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the sort of the plan was, what the shape was in that second half. Yeah, of course, the shape might go a little bit ragged as you sort of chase a game more towards the end, but I felt like we were very open. Like it felt like Palace got through us quite easily on a number of occasions in that second half. And look, I get it. We're still only a few games in and whatnot, but Maresca, the whole, his thing is very much having control of games. And I still feel like we're not having that much control of games, and we are still looking our most dangerous on counter attacks and transitions. So
it feels like Poch is still here.
It does. You know, the way that we're a threat is very much the way we were a threat last season. No real shape, a little bit chaotic, and we were dangerous on the counter attack and in transitions. And look, the Wolves game was really good, but particularly that second half. But that wasn't like an amazing performance. We just took our chances at the end of the day.
Right.
You know, and this is what I said after that game, that let's enjoy it. Great, we were clinical, we took our chances, but that's, I think, is a very much a one-off. You're not going to do that every week. And defensively, we were better. Defensively, we were better today. We were better today defensively. Look, obviously, not clearing our lines wasn't great, but I think, I don't know about you, mate, but one thing we really need to do is obviously, yes, improve on taking our chances, but we've got to learn how to win games 1-0, because you know that, you know, Chelsea, to get any sort of result, it feels like we've got to score a minimum of 2 goals to get any sort of positive result.
Exactly, and that's why I say a lot of people will miss Tuchel for this. That was the Tuchel special. That was the Tuchel guarantee.
Hard to beat, yeah.
So, and you know what? I'll blame the ownership on this one, because not because of Tuchel, but because of selling experienced players. Experienced players know how to see out a game, and these are a lot of young guys depending on each other. It doesn't make sense.
No, mate, I hear you on that. You know, I think there's still a lack of, you know, we're not able to see games out. There's still a big lack of experienced heads in the side. Yes, of course, these guys are going to gain more experience, but you know, there needs to be some sort of leadership in there. I thought Palmer was good in that first half. Obviously, got the assist. He looked tired in that second half. Could probably do with a break. Obviously, they're going to go off on international duty now. Hopefully, no one gets injured. Just last thing, mate. What was your thoughts on the transfer window as a whole? What was your thoughts on our business? Obviously, very disappointing not to get a striker and having wasted so much time on the Osimhen deal. What are your thoughts? Neto's come in, Sancho's come in, Felix has come in there. Sort of the big signings. You happy with what you've done?
Look, I am happy. I am. Like you said, the whole forward thing, the whole striker thing, really frustrated me. And I feel like I'm in your camp with this one, where I'm very upset with the fact that we only saw the Tony link on the last 2 to 3 days of the window. Like, if we knew Osimhen was going to be very stubborn, especially with his wages, and we still pursued this guy. We heard long ago, early on in the window, that no, Osimhen does not want a loan. He wants to leave. Relationships are broken there, so he wants to go for good. But I feel like Osimhen could have also, you know, just budged himself a bit for us, like Felix did.
Yeah, I absolutely agree on that one. I think what Chelsea thought was that if we just wait and he's backed into a corner, surely he'll just accept our offer, because he's not going to want to not play football for 6 months. And fortunately, that's what he's taken. But bro, I'm going to move on to the next person. Sean, thanks for your time, mate. Greatly appreciate it.
Thanks,
Enjoy the rest of your day, bro. Nice one. Cheers. Let's move on to the next person. Who have we got now? Guys, make sure you keep smashing that like button as well. People, let's get this to 100 likes. We're on 66. Run it up. Guys, come on. Let's get this to 100 likes. Gaming for life. Big up, brother. How you doing?
Big up. Yeah, I'm not bad. How about you, Charlie?
Yeah, not bad. Thank you, mate. Not bad. What did you make of today? What are your feelings in general about what's going on at the club at the moment?
Look, I've got to say, our attack is fine. Our midfield is fine. It's just our defense is shaky. We can all agree our defense is not the best.
Yep.
So my point is, my thing is, Lavia is the one that's important in our defense, in our midfield, because he's the one that controls stuff. That is the person that we're missing. And like, with this Maresca thing, like, I'm sorry, but like, people were not doing this last year under Pochettino. Like, I don't understand it. They were never turning against him. They were always moaning at, why we all Poch out. There were reasons why we were Poch out. He was making more mistakes. Like playing Chilwell at left wing, playing Enzo as a striker. Like, come on. You don't see Maresca doing that.
No. And also, like, you know, we won 3 of our first 10 games in the league last season under Poch.
Yeah.
Look, this is 4 points from 9. of course you want more. There's been some disappointing performances. But if we actually go through the performances, right? Man City at home, we actually didn't play that badly.
No, we didn't, surprisingly.
We lost that game. But if we're looking at a performance perspective, I didn't come away from that game and think, fuck, that was a really shit performance. It wasn't that bad. Wolves, first half, it was a bit of a basketball game, all defending and whatnot. Second half, we were much, much better.
We cooked them.
Yeah, and because we were clinical, the attack were clinical. And then obviously this game, first half, we were really good. Second half, we dropped off. And that's what you're going to get with a young team. You are going to get that, unfortunately. And look at last season. You know, we drew with Burnley's, Sheffield United's, and whatnot. We didn't lose today.
No.
It was disappointing. Of course, it was. It's always disappointing when you don't win games at home. Of course, it is. But at the same time, I think you've got to realise that it's gonna take a little bit of time for things to come together. And I'm disappointed with today. Of course I am. Like I am every time that we drop points and don't win. But the reality of the situation is that I don't worry about us going forward. Yes, we could have done with a striker short, but I don't worry about us going forward because I think we will create a lot of chances and we will score a number of goals. Midfield is it looks, without Lavia, it looks concerning. I've got to be honest. Without Lavia, it does look concerning. It's far too easy to play for at the moment.
It's so wide open as well without Lavia.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I don't think people realise now how important Lavia is to this team, because whilst Enzo and Caicedo, I think, are good footballers, they can't do what Lavia does. And the team does look like it lacks control in the middle of the park without Lavia there. So hopefully he comes back after the international break and that makes a difference. Defensively, do you know what? Even today, right? Actually, defensively, I don't think we weren't actually bad defensively today. I thought we defended pretty well. Obviously, for the goal, we defended badly because we didn't clear our lines properly from a set piece, and then we didn't get out to Eze quick enough on the edge of the box. But all in all, like that. The fact of the matter is, on this one, for me, is that, we dropped off in the second half. And yes, the performance wasn't great, but ultimately it came down to fine margins again. A bit of a mistake. And we didn't take some of the chances that we should have done. And I know, football's not won on stats. The only thing that matters is the scoreline. But if you look at the XG, ours was about 2.3 something to their 0 point something. So it's, it's tricky. It's not ideal. We do still concede stupid goals, but it's that we're going to get somewhere eventually. And look, I'll very much change my tune if we're having the same conversation after 12, 15 games. But right now, I'm going to highlight things, single things out that I think are an issue, but I'm not going to absolutely go mad.
Write them off.
After the third game of the season in the Premier League. There's things that are concerning me, absolutely. But I mean, what would your main concern be about us right now?
My main concern is the striker bit and the defense, because we have cup games, so he could be switching it around, and that's my main issue with how he's gonna switch it around.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that one. And just lastly, bro, what were your thoughts on the window? Obviously, we're all disappointed we didn't get a number 9 in, but what did you think of the signings we made? Obviously, Sancho, Felix, and Neto are kind of the standout ones. I mean, what are your thoughts on the business?
I mean, come on, Neto's a baller. I didn't expect that. That was a surprise for us. That come on, I didn't expect that. And then here we go, and I'm like, hang on a minute. Since when were we linked to him?
Yeah, no, that sort of come out of nowhere. That was a good signing. Thoughts on Felix and Sancho? What are your thoughts on those two?
Oh, mate, I said yes to Felix, man. He was balling when he came to Chelsea. And then I've had people saying, oh, but Felix can't finish. He's not a baller. Well, you clearly didn't watch him what he did for Chelsea. You clearly didn't. Look what he does against Wolves on his debut. Scores a goal. Him and Neto, bro. And Sancho, you know what? I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a quality player. I think he's probably going to play him on the left more than on the right.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because there's no way he's going to put him on the right when we literally have two people who can play there, is Madueke and Palmer. But didn't Madueke suffer an injury today as well?
No, I'm not sure it was an injury. Maybe it was some cramp or he was just tired. I've not seen anything to suggest about that. But look, if we can somehow find the if we can somehow find a Dortmund Sancho, then we're going to have a very good player on our hands. But if it's the Man United Sancho, then maybe not. But I think this environment could suit him well. And it's another attacking option to have. And, you can't moan about having too many attacking options, even though it's hard to fit them all in. You'd rather have more than have less. But, bro, I'm going to move on to the next person. Brother, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the support as always. Enjoy the rest of your evening, bro, and catch up soon. Nice one. Cheers. Right, let's move on to the next person. And guys, keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. So run it up, guys. We're on 70 likes. We need to get this to 100 likes. Let's move it forwards. Come on, people, and keep subscribing to the channel if you are new round here as well. We're heading towards 11.7k. That is the main aim this evening, guys. We're 20 away from it. Let's see if we can do it. We are 20 away. Let's try and get it done. But anyway, we're going to move on to the next caller now. Thomas, what are you saying, bro? You good?
Hi, Charlie. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you, mate. Not bad. What we saying? How are you feeling about today's game?
For me personally, I feel like it was really good in the first half. Like everyone said, I feel like it's really good when we can see that Maresca has some sort of versatility in the way that we play, because everyone was talking about how he's not very adaptable with his structure, but I feel like in the first 3 games we've seen different formations, the diamond, the inverting, not inverting. I feel like that's good on that point, but then I think it was just a defensive switch off in the second half. So those are my main key points.
Yeah, for sure. What did you think of, obviously, the starting lineup? I think was what people expected it to be. You make one change, Mudryk, for Neto coming in for Mudryk from the Wolves game, and that was a pretty good it's a pretty good lineup, pretty good first half. I mean, the goal itself was a brilliant team move. I think that's kind of what Maresca's looking for. That was like the Maresca sort of style in full flow. We didn't create our shot. The only disappointment for me was that we weren't 2 or 3 goals up at half time, because then I think the game is done. I don't want to blame referees, but Will Hughes should have had a second yellow card for that foul on the edge of the box at the start of the thing. But that's not an excuse. But that should have been a red, and maybe it would have been a different game. But I mean, what areas of the team are you concerned about still at the moment?
For me, I'm only concerned about, well, not only, but I feel like Chalobah would have been really good, useful for us this season. I feel like he would be a really good addition to our defence. And I feel like when I look at that, the squad depth is decent in defence, but it's not got the squad depth of quality, I feel. So I feel like, the defence is concerning me a bit. I feel like Jackson, I really like him. I feel he's really underrated with all his link-up play, all of that. I feel that. But for me, Mark Guiu as a second choice striker, I don't think that's enough. It doesn't really cut the mustard for me.
Well, he wasn't even on the bench.
Yeah, I know. And I feel like if Jackson gets injured or something, I mean, what are we really doing? We're kind of wasting an Nkunku if we play him in the 9, if we play Felix in the 9. So those will probably be my only concerns. I'm also a bit concerned that Chukwuemeka is not even being in the squad at all. I feel we didn't really need to sign.
Yeah, no, sorry, but I was just going to say, bro, we had Cassidy was on the bench instead of Chukwuemeka today.
Yeah,
which is a bit of a crazy one, a bit of a confusing one. But I mean, from what you've seen from the sort of the opening 5 games, we've had obviously the 2 in the Conference League and the 3 here. How are you sort of feeling heading into sort of the next part of the season after the international break? We've got Bournemouth away coming up. We've got West Ham away coming up. A couple of tricky games there. 2 grounds that we don't do particularly well at. That's going to be a big test for us. Hopefully James will be back. Hopefully Lavia will be back. What are your early impressions of this team where we stand right now?
I feel a bit more confident in terms of structure-wise with Maresca compared to Poch, in terms of the way that Maresca, you can see that he wants to have a bit more stability, a bit more composure, whereas Poch, it was kind of just vibes ball, to be honest. And a lot of the time, we just be going into these crazy basketball games. I feel like we're still in a bit of that at the moment. But to be honest, mate, like every match I go into, I'm never really sure what the score's going to be, to be honest. Wolves, we could have been 2-1 down at half-time. City, we played decent, but every match, to be honest, it could be win, lose, draw. So I have hopes in the way that, because we've always had that quality in attack, we always have that, we still have it. But I just feel like, yeah, you never know with this team, to be honest, Charlie.
No, you absolutely don't, mate. And last thing, bro, what have you made? What have you made of the window? What are your thoughts on it overall? As I said, we'll be disappointed not to get a striker in. I think we wasted way too much time on the Osimhen thing. But obviously, we've had 3 high-profile signings in Sancho, Neto, and Felix. What are your thoughts on the window in general? And do you think the squad has improved from last season?
Definitely, I think that we definitely needed wingers, and I think we've got that in abundance now, which is good. Definitely, we need that striker. I'm not sure if it's going to be in January or next summer, but I feel, yeah, that's the main key bit. I feel like we never needed a centre-back if we kept Chalobah, but the directors have decided he's just pure profit because they've probably messed up in the market with a few of the other signings and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like a Dewsbury Hall wasn't really needed because we already have Carney. I feel like that Kellyman either as well, not really needed. Yeah, I think it's like someone said as well, it's a 6 out of 10 window for me. It would have probably topped it off if we had a clinical striker. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
No, I hear you, mate. Right, I'm going to move on to the next person. Thomas, thanks for coming on, brother. Greatly appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate. Nice one. Cheers. Okay, guys. Run it. Keep smashing the like button, people. I'm going to go for about another 10 more minutes or so. So who's next caller? Guys, the link's pinned at the top of the chat. Come on and have your say, guys. Come on and have your say. It'd be good to hear from some of you guys. So yeah, guys, make sure you're smashing that like button. Subscribe to the channel as well. Guys, we need to get this to 100 likes. We've got about 10 minutes to do it, and we need 29 likes. So come on, guys. Let's run this up, people. Let's run it up. There's enough people in here to get this done. So please do it. And who's going to be coming on next? Yes, Mabast05. Bro, how you doing?
Big up, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. Not bad. What are you saying? What are your thoughts on what you've seen today?
I'm disappointed that we didn't win the game.
Of course, yeah.
We needed a striker, man. Like, I'm disappointed we didn't sign Osimhen.
Yeah, no, of course. You know, I think everyone's disappointed that we didn't bring a forward in. I think
not only that, we didn't sign an experienced veteran players in the team that we've been crying out for the last year or two.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. I feel that those are the kind of players that we need, but I think we should also be aware that unfortunately under this ownership we're not really going to get those sorts of. We're not going to be signing those sorts of players. That's just the reality of kind of where we're at as a football club right now. So yeah, we know that we need those kind of players, but we're obviously not going to get them. So
we should have signed an experienced centre back after when Silva left.
Yeah, that's one thing that I absolutely agree on. I was under the impression that we didn't. Certainly at the start of the window, I kind of felt like maybe we don't need another centre back. But I almost feel that, like, really with the Sassy, ultimately I don't think he's good enough. I don't know what's happened to Badiashile. In his first 6 months at the club, he was brilliant. Had that long-term injury at the back end of that Graham Potter season. And then ever since then, he looks like a completely different player. It looks like someone else is playing and it's not him. And then Tosin, you know, it's too early to say anything about him, but he, like, I don't look at him as being a nailed on starter for a team like Chelsea. So I think we've missed the trick there.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Question: do you think Chelsea will get Osimhen in January?
Do I think Chelsea will get Osimhen in January? I would say no. Only based on the fact that I don't think his demands would have changed. I suspect that what he'll do is, unless he's desperate to come to Chelsea, in January he can sign a pre-contract with whoever he wants to, because obviously he's a free agent next summer. So he can sign a pre-contract with whoever he wants to in January. And the fact of the matter is, for me anyway, I'm not saying that he won't come to Chelsea in January. For me, it's unlikely, just because I think he can choose virtually whatever club he wants to go for.
First half we were good. Second half we were awful.
Yeah. I agree. The second half wasn't good. We certainly could have. Could have done more. Yeah.
With Gusto injury, I want to see Casado as an inverted right back.
Yeah, it's absolutely. It's absolutely.
He used to play there when he was at Brighton.
Yeah, no, he has done it. Obviously, hopefully for if Gusto for whatever reason, and let's hope that he doesn't, but if Gusto for whatever reason is going to be missing for that Bournemouth game, then hopefully Reece James will be back and he'll be fit.
Yeah.
Because his 3-match ban is now over, so that should be a good thing for us. Hopefully, he's fit and ready to go. Yeah,
I'm happy Lukaku left Chelsea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was the most important thing. That was one of the most. That was one of the most important things to get sorted. Absolutely, one of the most important.
That Lukaku Osimhen swap to would have been good, man.
It would have been good.
Disappointed it didn't happen.
I mean, yeah, it's a shame it didn't happen, but obviously, I think they would have obviously maybe discussed it, but probably just wasn't possible. And ultimately, Osimhen weren't prepared to lower his wage demands, and we weren't prepared to go higher, so it just wasn't going to happen.
Charlie.
Yeah.
The chat was saying someone like Ramos would have been good signing.
What, Hummels?
No, Ramos.
Oh, Ramos. Oh, well, he's still a free agent, so yeah, maybe we do something, but I still think that's I think it's highly unlikely. But bro, thank you for coming on. I'm going to move on to the next person now. Enjoy the rest of the day, brother. Thanks for the support as always. Love.
Up the Charles.
Yeah, for sure. What else is going on here? Guys, we're 20 likes away from 100. Let's run this up, people. Let's run it up. Let's get it done. We are 20 likes away. So please do make sure that we're doing that, people. We need to hit there. We need to get it done. Let's move on to the next caller. Might be the last one, or we might squeeze one more in, guys. Michael, how are we doing, mate? How are you, brother? You good?
Yeah, I'm okay. Obviously, I want to talk on a positive note first. Charles Leclerc.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Charles Leclerc, Monza, Ferrari. You know, I was really happy about that today. Fantastic result. But Chelsea, it's really disappointing the way Chelsea has been, you know, ever since we've last talked. You know, it's the treatment of certain players that I've not liked, especially Trevor Chalobah. I mean,
for sure we can agree on that.
I mean, it's sad, isn't it? I mean, for me, I do think Trevor Chalobah is the best centre back we've got at this club. But
yeah, I think there's a strong claim for that. I think a fully fit Wesley Fofana is probably the best centre back, but Chalobah for sure, in my opinion, is definitely. I would agree with you that he's up there and he should be starting for Chelsea. I don't think that's a controversial thing to be saying at all.
I mean, there's a lot in there. There's we have a loss of identity in terms of, let's say, the club. We haven't got a striker. Of course, let's say Osimhen. We know all about that. I mean, what are we going to do next, though? I mean, we know Osimhen, not going to happen. So, what are we going to be looking at now? I mean,
I don't know what we're going to look at now. I'm not sure. Look, there's a very small chance that we could go back in for him in January. Maybe he reconsiders his position on his financial status. I don't know. But I would expect maybe we're going to refocus our attentions on someone like a Benjamin Sesko. Basically, that would be my thoughts on it. I can't really think what other strikers there are really around. There's not that many. I mean, the main ones that we looked at in the summer was obviously we tried to do the Osimhen. Sesko at the beginning of the summer, we tried hard on that one before he decided to stay at Leipzig. Arsenal, I think, tried a lot for him as well. Duran, I think, is not going to happen because he's had a brilliant start to life at Villa, to this season at Villa. He's got a couple of goals in the first 3 games. He's doing better than Watkins. So yeah, if I had to have a guess right now, in sort of at the start of September, my bet would be that we're gonna try and make a move on someone like Sesko, even if it's agreeing a deal in January and then he comes in the summer, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, as you know, I'm massively critical about this ownership. But the one thing that has tipped it, this whole David Washington thing, of course, it was linked to a move to Strasbourg. That we're going to get it all done, and then it's gone on to collapse. How is that possible for it to collapse when they actually own Strasbourg?
I think what happened was, from what I was reading, is that they pulled the plug on it because they were worried of how it might look. They were worried there might be like a Premier League investigation into it because of the fact that the 2 clubs are obviously owned by the same owners. And Washington's played 25 minutes of football for Chelsea, and we bought him for 16 million euros, and we were going to make a 5 million euro profit on him if he went for the 21 million euros. So we pulled the plug on it because of we were worried that there might be clubs that complain about it, and then the Premier League may have looked into it. So that didn't happen. But then he was supposedly going to go and join Hull City on loan, but that didn't happen either because he ended up because there wasn't enough time left in the window. So I don't know where he's going to go. I think he's potentially might be looking at somewhere in Brazil. Potentially maybe Fluminense, I was hearing. Flamengo, sorry. That was the one. Flamengo are trying to sign him on loan, apparently. So maybe he ends up going there. But yeah, a little bit of a shambles. Obviously, I think Angelo's going to Saudi Arabia. I think he's going to Al Nassr. I think that's maybe a permanent deal. Or might be it's a loan or a permanent, obviously. But yeah, he's going to Al Nassr in Saudi, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the whole direction, it's the level of buying these young kids in particular. We've got Penders, Angelo. I mean, we haven't got a move anywhere for Angelo.
No, he's going to Saudi. I think that's.
Oh
done.
Yeah, Saudi window's still open, isn't it?
Yeah, Saudi window's open till Monday. Yeah. I think Angelo is virtually gone now. So yeah, look, I get it. Some of these signings are like not going to work out. They're going to be those ones that, you know, I think what we need to realize is that that not every signing is being bought to play for the club. Like a number of these signings are going to be bought to be flipped on for a profit and whatnot. And that's just the way it is. So that's why when I look at some of these Kellyman signings or these other ones, I'm not really that bothered about it because I know they're not really going to play for the club. I know that they've been bought for a I know they've been bought for a basically for a player trading situation. So that's why I'm not too fussed about some of them.
I think my ultimate fear is that we are going down the same road as, let's say, an Arsenal. No, we're already. I mean, Maresca's already going around saying trust the process, and I feel it's a very dark road that we are heading down, and I largely believe that Behrad Eghbali is very much the main man at Chelsea now.
He is. No, he absolutely is. He absolutely is the main man. But Bowley doesn't really do very much anymore. Certainly from a footballing perspective, Bowley is very much does business side of things, but footballing decisions, transfers, etc. He took a back seat a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, Bowley had one window, and that's when we were linked with Neymar and Ronaldo and all this. That
first summer we had one. That's when Bowley was doing stuff. Ever since then, he's not been involved in stuff like that.
But and then there's Win Stanley and Stewart. I mean, how is the recruitment so bad? And then I get the feeling more signings are panic stricken as well. That's another thing. They're all like panic buys. I think Sancho is a panic buy. Personally, to me,
I think it's more of an opportunity. I think if he'd cost like 50 or 60 million, they wouldn't have done it. But I think because it's a loan with an obligation, which is not going to cost any more than 25 mil, that's kind of why they've done it. So for me, it's opportunities. I don't think they would have paid like 60 or 70 million for Sancho personally, but I could be wrong. But look, I agree with a number of things. You know, I don't think it's as dark as what perhaps maybe you're fearing, but there are concerns. Of course there are. You know, we've not been competitive on the pitch for 2 seasons now. This season, we don't know what's going to happen right now. Obviously, you know, we've not addressed. It feels like we don't have a spine to the team, even though we spent a lot of money. That's a little bit of that's a bit of a concern. But look, I still feel reasonably positive about this season. We're 3 games into the Premier League. I'm not going to start, you know, thinking, oh, it's all fucked, because it's not. But as I said, if we're sort of 12, 15 games in and we've got maybe 3 or 4 wins on the board, then there's a genuine conversation to be had about, yeah, this is looking like it might be another difficult season. But Michael, I'm going to have to move on to the next person, because this is going to be the last call, and then I've got stuff to do. But mate, thank you for calling in. Appreciate the support as always, brother, and catch up with you soon.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
nice
see ya.
Bro. Thank you, mate. Okay, guys, moving on to the final caller now. Final caller. Let me just unpin the link so that no one else can come in. Unpinned. Good. Guys, keep running it up. What are we on? 83 likes. Let's get this to 100 likes, guys. It's free. Let's do it. DC, what are we saying?
Hello? Sorry.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. What were your thoughts on today?
Yes, I would like to talk about the Chelsea game, actually.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm a Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is a bit of a wind up or what.
Yeah, I would like to talk about today's game.
What is going on there? That is a kick out. What sort of a madness was that? That was peak settings. What was going on there? Thinking I wouldn't know with that sort of a banter voice going on. Fucking hell. Yeah, mad. Trying to do me with the banter voice there. Very, very, very weird that. I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, there was a little voice situation going on there. Yeah, bro, that was mad. That was a bit brazy. What was going on there? What was going on there? Mad. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, a bit of a weird one to round proceedings out, guys. A little bit of a strange one, but it is what it is. Yeah, of course it was. Fully aware of that. What else are we reaching 100 likes, guys? I don't know if we're going to reach 100 likes today. That's mad. That is mad. What's been going on there? Yeah, could have been that. And then pretending to be an executive director of Tottenham. Fantastic. Definitely don't think that's the case whatsoever. Gusto injured. Yes, I think he's got a muscle problem. I think there's a muscular injury, which is obviously really not ideal. Not what we're wanting, but you know, that's kind of the situation that we're facing right now. That is kind of the situation we're facing. Hopefully it's not too bad. It's just irritating, really. It's just annoying at the end of the day. But you know, that's just the way it goes, guys. That's just the way it goes. Yeah. Nothing more to say on that front. But guys, anyone got any questions in the chat about anything? Obviously, don't want to be blaming referees and stuff. But yeah, that obviously really didn't help our scenario. So yeah, that's kind of the guys. We're 10 likes away from 100. Come on, people. Let's run this up. It's free. It takes seconds to do, and we're just 20 subscribers away as well from the 11.7k. So please do run it up, guys. It's free. Takes seconds to do. So yeah, I really appreciate it if you guys could smash the likes and if you could subscribe as well. International break coming up now. So no games for 2 weeks now. We're next in action away at Bournemouth. That could be tricky. Then we follow that up with a game away at West Ham. So yeah, it doesn't get any easier. It does not get any easier for us right now. Doesn't get any easier for us right now, but that's where we're at. That is where we are currently at right now, people. That's where we're currently at right now. And yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a tricky one. Gonna be a tricky one. No doubt about it. Tough games coming up, tough things that we need to do. So yeah. Can see us getting 1 point from those two. I don't know. Got absolutely no idea what to expect from them, but I'll worry about those in a couple of weeks' time. We will worry about those in a couple of weeks' time, guys. I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I am worried about, though, guys, is we're still not on 100 likes. Come on, guys. Let's run it up to the 100 likes. Should be no excuses for not hitting the 100 likes mark tonight. It's got to be done, people. Got to be done. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Noni should have scored. Yeah, possibly. Part of the bus teams and no striker to play into, and when he does get in behind, yeah, look, it's not ideal right now. Yeah, maybe we'll see. I don't know why Juice Paul didn't come on. No idea. What content I'm going to do for the international break? I don't know yet. I'm going to have a think about that. We're going to maybe do some collaborations and stuff. Yeah, let's. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that. So I don't think the live streams will be daily. I don't think the live streams will be daily, but certainly, 3-4 times a week for sure. If there's enough content and whatnot, get enough people on. So let's see how we do there. Let's see how we do there. What else is going on? Starred. Thank you for the super sticker. 20,000 IDR. That's, I don't know how much money that is. 20,000 IDR. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. $1.44 is that. Is what that is. Bro, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. What else is going on? Enzo Fernandez injured too. No, I don't think he is. There was a bit of a concern. It was been 5 windows and still no top striker. Yeah, I hear you on that. Jackson isn't a natural striker. I wouldn't say it was a natural striker. No. No, I don't think he is. I think he just needs help up there. That's the main takeaway for me. Because you would do it because you're on the wind up. That's why. Bring Duran in. Duran's not going to happen in January. Villa aren't going to let Duran go in January. Absolutely no chance. But guys, I am going to round this one out here. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. Appreciate it. Obviously, Sunday night, not as many numbers as during the transfer window, but appreciate everyone that has locked in and has joined in on the show. And to those that called in, thank you for calling in. Guys, what are your thoughts on the call-in format after games? Do you like it? Do you think it's something I should continue doing? Please let me know in the chat very briefly right now. Do you enjoy that fan call-in show after the games? Let me know. We massively miss Lavia in the middle of the park. I agree. Absolutely agree on that. No doubt about it. We do continue them. Yeah, guys, any feedback on the fan call-in show after games, please let me know. Please let me know. But yeah, guys, I'm going to round it out here. Not the result we wanted. International break coming. Let's see what the next couple of weeks have got in store for us, guys. Please smash that like button on the way out. It's free. It takes seconds to do. We need 9 more likes on the way out. So that would be, yeah, perfect. Great. We're gonna continue. No problem. yeah, guys, smash the like button on the way out. Get this up to 100 likes. Keep subscribing to the channel if you're new around here. Disappointing result today. It is what it is. We move on. Love for all the support as always. Thank you for those two. Thanks to those who obviously called in. Appreciate each and every single one of you as always, guys. And enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll catch you lot again very, very soon. Up the Chelsea and peace out.